You are watching CIO TV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Info Media.
So since we have kind of already done more than a decade plus stint in this scenario, and we have kind of seen all kinds of video conferencing technologies, and we have sold and we have kind of developed these technologies right from the software based to hardware based to web based, the latest tech platforms. So we definitely have a big niche now because we have been early movers.
All right, Amit, thank you very much for sparing time for CIO TV.live. This is our maiden initiative which has happened for last couple of years, where we are normally taking interviews of CXOs. Now, since you are here, you should remember that this is being watched not only in India but also other parts of the world, including North America, Europe, and Asia Pacific. So also Middle East and Africa.
Wonderful.
So welcome on board.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
So the first question goes to you, Amit. The situation is not right, but then COVID has paved a strong path for some of the technologies to grow. One of them is definitely virtual video conferencing and virtual conferencing. So VC and collaboration has actually picked up. So how do you think PeopleLink is taking advantage of it and creating its own niche amid this situation?
So Sanjay, see, I mean, if you look at PeopleLink's history, we have always been the innovators and pioneers in this space. Now you see a lot of boom happening post-COVID in the video conferencing arena, but we have been predicting it since 2008, and that's why we jumped into this industry in 2008. And we were the first ones in the country saying that the whole market is going to be kind of shifting towards software based. And in 2014, we said it's going to be moving to web based. Now, for example, you're right now logged in on InstaVC, and I just sent you a simple link, and you don't have to download any software. You just clicked and joined, right? It's as simple as that. So this is a web based technology, so you don't need to unnecessarily download any software clients. So we always had the clarity of our mind, and the vision was very clear that the market is going to be kind of completely transforming and moving into the web-based video conferencing space. So since we have kind of already done more than a decade plus stint in this scenario, and we have kind of seen all kinds of video conferencing technologies, and we have sold and we have kind of developed these technologies right from the software based to hardware based to web based, the latest tech platforms. So we definitely have a big niche now because we have been early movers in this particular space, and we have built over a period of last 10-12 years a big IP with a lot of unique possibilities and features. Like one of the big unique things that we did in 2015-2016 was that we looked at video conferencing not from only meetings perspective, where the CIOs or CTOs are only implementing in the corporates and enterprise. Or the government is using it for the meeting purpose, but also we saw that there's going to be a huge market getting created in the virtual education space, in the healthcare space for patient-doctor interaction, and then it's going to get into all parts of life. So video applications is what we saw as a big growth driver, and that's when we started developing vertical specific video applications. So we have more than 10 to 11 applications developed for different verticals, which are totally different than a regular standard fit video conferencing model. So they have got very unique features for those verticals, like an education application, apart from having standard features of video conferencing, also has additional features like attendance measurement, live assessment of students, assignments, and then you have many other polls and many other features which are required from an education perspective. Similarly, a workflow which is catering to the telemedicine is totally different than what you see as a regular video conferencing. That's got a complete patient management, health records. It's got the whole patient waiting room concept. The whole concept that we do if we book an appointment when we are in a physical world to actually getting a consulting from a doctor, getting a prescription from him. The whole workflow has been kind of put and virtualized in that platform. Same way we have got Insta Inmate as a platform which is specifically for a prisoner and relative interaction. And then we have platforms which are specifically for video commerce. And we don't have only platforms, and we have a lot of customers specific for each of these applications. So we have a wide variety of customers already using these products from a long time and highly successful. In the government, we have many chief ministers already using our product from a long time, from many years, and working very successfully. And thousands of locations are using, getting connected. So we already have a niche and advantage, and since the market has opened wide now, so we are already seeing a big growth happening in our organization.
If I can ask you about your niche, you said you just enumerated so many verticals that you are already in. Your solutions have been implemented. Which are the areas or which are the vertical markets you feel that you are strong in, and you have created a number of use cases?
So I think we have about 11 odd use cases, and we are definitely strong in most of them because we have built them over a period of time. But education, healthcare are two predominant market spaces where we are extremely strong, and enterprise being always the bread and butter runner for us for a long time, because we have built all the features which are required for an enterprise, because they are very, very important. But apart from enterprise and government, what we've been working from a long time, because we have more than 500 plus implementations in the government sector in India alone. And we already have a lot of customers in globally in India, Middle East, Africa, and have already gone to Europe and US. So we see, the education and healthcare application going in a big way in coming months and years.
Amit, there are two parts to it. One is the video conferencing, the other part is the collaboration. So video conferencing is something which is a boardroom kind of solution, or the hardware-based application. Now, collaboration, which is something which has picked up over the time for last 2-3 months, if I'm right. Whatever might be the reason, COVID is definitely one of the big reasons for pushing it ahead. What is the kind of growth happening at your collaboration space as far as InstaVC is concerned, which is your flagship product for collaboration?
So as you rightly said, Sanjay, there is basically we cannot say collaboration happens only in the software-based VC or a web-based VC. There is a collaboration possibility in hardware-based video conference also. But definitely the web-based video conferencing or software-based video conferencing is picking up in a big way. And one of the best reasons for that is because anybody can work from anywhere. So you don't need to be fixed to the conference rooms and boardrooms and have the need of a traditional institutional equipment to join the video call. You can simply join from a browser, connect a webcam, or have an integrated webcam of your laptop and microphone, and start getting into the video conference. But in terms of the collaboration, there are a lot of collaboration features which the software brings in. Like we have an integrated collaborative notes. Many people can start working on the notes together while you're in a video conference. You have got an application sharing, desktop sharing. There's a video sharing possibility, and people can share their videos along with it. In the application or a desktop sharing, we have a multi-application sharing at the same time. You could basically share, multiple people can share their presentations and applications at the same time. So there are a lot of advanced, interactive whiteboard is another one of the applications, like a digital whiteboard where many people can collaborate and write at the same time using touch-based screens and the pen, making it as smooth as while you're working on a regular whiteboard. So all those features kind of make the working together remotely very, very easy, because it's not only when you are remotely working, you're only talking. Many of the times, like when you're doing classes, or you're doing trainings, or you're doing such sessions, you require a collaborative effort, and these tools definitely help in a big way.
Okay, if you look at the traditional industry, those who had implemented collaboration solutions, they have been very large organizations. SMB kind of organization, they were not so keen in implementing. So here the question is that your solution from the compatibility point of view with the generic hardwares that are available or implemented already, or say some MNC hardwares or the branded cameras and other things, boardroom solutions. What is the level of compatibility? Are you compatible with all the brands, or there is any resistance from any such brands? Can you just put some lights on that?
So, I would like to break the hardware into two different pieces. One is if you're looking at a traditional hardware-based endpoints from, vendors like Polycom, Cisco, those kind of hardware endpoints work on Edge Lord 323 and SIP technology, and we support that in our InstaVC platform. So people can dial into the, we're using their old traditional hardware-based equipments, and they can simply dial, and it works seamlessly with those equipments. And the other hardware equipment, if you look at, like for example, complementing in an InstaVC kind of a platform, if we are logged in from a very small room, huddle room, you require a high-end webcam or a camera which is what about 3x or 5x zoom. But if you're looking at joining from a large conference room, a 10x or a 20x room, no optical zoom camera is required. And similarly, audio devices which can kind of cater to a 10 to 15 or a 20-seater audience. And similarly, a different kind of equipment is required for a virtual classroom, digital podiums, and interactive panels, and ceiling microphones, and tracking cameras which can track a teacher, tracking cameras which can track a student. So as PeopleLink, we offer end-to-end solution, so that we can we have apart from software development center in Hyderabad, we also have a manufacturing unit where we manufacture the digital podiums, and we have control room systems for controlling the whole conference room. We have developed our own control room systems indigenously, and we also manufacture that in Hyderabad. We have a very unique wireless look at me and many other products which complement the collaboration and the software piece of it. But apart from we having all these products with us, we are very open source. So it is not that they are like the hardware is kind of, they need to mandatorily buy our cameras, audio devices, or podiums, or stuff like that. They can buy any generic hardware. They are all USB plug and play devices, and they can buy any hardware that can get integrated.
All right. So now people from home, from remote offices, these days people are stock up also, and people are leaving also their cities. So that means there is a need of huge scalability of the solution. So somebody buys it and needs to scale up the solution on the fly. So from a scalability point of view, from extending the solution to a good number of users, how does PeopleLink solutions or the InstaVC kind of solution that fits into that?
So InstaVC is a very, very scalable platform. In fact, it's completely built on a cloud architecture, and we can scale multi-million users on the platform. So and they can be working simultaneously. It's built on a AWS architecture. We use the AWS platform for scaling it up. And if you're looking at an independent conference, and people are actually having a 50-party or 100-party conference, and they want to quickly scale it up to 200 or 300. I mean, we have a self-buy mechanism, a completely, hassle-free or a people-free mechanism where anybody can go to a website, immediately pay through the credit card, it automatically sets up into their account, and they can start using it. So it's like just within a couple of minutes, you have your additional licenses or additional whatever you require. At any moment of time, even in the midnight, you can go onto the portal, buy it, and you are up and running. So you don't have to have any dependability also on PeopleLink staff to get it configured. It's all self-driven.
I mean, there is these days, if you look at, there are challenges, huge challenges for the CIOs or the IT leaders, from the management, from the workforce. Without any notice, they get a call, or without any time, they get a call to extend their bandwidth, extend their licenses also. So how swift and how responsive are your in-house resources to adapt to that situation, responding to the calls from pre-sales to creating a bomb and delivering it, and post that servicing also?
So if you look at, I mean, so we have in India, if you look from an India perspective, we have a team which is a very large team. I think one of the largest any of the OEMs has in terms of support. I mean, we have our sales and support offices all across the country, right from Mizoram to Kerala to J&K, all across in all cities. We have our own direct manpower, both sales and support manpower. And we are a partner-centric company. We have always worked with our partners, so we have a full-fledged certification program which we have been running globally, and all our partners can go to our, we have our own integrated platform for live certification. They can go to Go Live, which is our platform for certification, and they can enroll there and they get fully certified on the sales technical parameters. So our partners are the first line of support to the end customers, because we don't sell direct. And but after that, if our partners are not in a position to support, then we have a full-fledged team for L2 and L3 layer support to instantly support our partners and our end customers, and that's very very quick. And the support is not only catering to the Indian market. We have a separate night shift catering to the US market. We have a separate staff for supporting the Europe and the Middle East. So that's how our whole ecosystem is built.
Okay, that brings me another question. Just you pointed out something very important, that you have got operations or supporting mechanism for North America and Middle East. So how many countries you have presence, and what is the total customer base you have?
So, if I will not be able to give you a precise number, definitely more than 5 to 6,000 customers. And in the cloud now, we are every month acquiring a big customer base. I'm talking about the on-premise customers. The number of customers in the cloud from last few months is growing at an exponential rate. Few are right now, many of them are paid customers, and many of them are right now using free, because almost 11,000 plus signups have happened in last 3 months on our web portal on InstaVC. But if you there are about few hundred customers who are already paying us, and few are in the verge of kind of converting them to commercial plans. But if you look at the our base of operations is predominantly India as of now. Though we have got few people based out in Nepal, and we have already hired some people in Bangladesh and adjoining countries. The Middle East and Africa region is completely right now driven by our consultant network, and we have a distributor appointed there as Sharp. Sharp is one of the large multinational companies who is our distributor for Middle East and Africa. And in Europe, we have our operation set up in Paris, where we have appointed one of our joint venture partners, and they are working in representing. We have PeopleLink Unified Communications Europe based out of Paris, and then we have partners based out in US who work for us, and then we have an inside sales team right now working from India to support the partners in US.
So that means you are not at all selling to the customers directly. It's 100% partner.
Yes, that's right. We are it's 100% partners. But while as a cloud model, in our cloud model, because cloud model also we prefer to drive it through the partners. But there can be few customers, because cloud model is open. We see a lot of people buying on cloud on their own. They're just testing the platform, signing up for free trials, and then they're paying through credit card, and they're using it on their own without making even a phone call. So there, I mean, we see some trend of some customers buying online on the portal, but almost 99% of the market for us is partner driven.
Okay, before I move to the next question, I must congratulate you for being named as Make in India brand. Government of India has named you as one of the promising collaboration brands that is everywhere, media and every kind of notifications that government has done.
Thank you.
Which is an advantage for you and for Indian companies to embrace PeopleLink. My next question is, see, the game is now pricing. What I understand that after there is a call, after there is any requirement of collaboration solutions, now I can see so many of companies coming up. People are copy pasting solutions and giving it as collaboration solutions also. So quick to market is the mantra now. So whatever possible way. But what technology might be almost same, here and there, maybe 5% to 10% different here and there, but people can manage that. The IT leaders or organization can manage. But what is your pricing strategy? How are you competitive against the biggest of the world and the smallest of the world?
So in terms of the pricing strategy, we have a dual pricing strategy. One is that there's a globally accepted price model of the host-based pricing. So you need to, any organization who needs to have many people in their organization to be able to schedule video calls, they need to buy so many hosts. And for example, if there is a 100 people organization, and they need about 20 or 30 people who are important people in their organization, and they are the ones who are scheduling meetings and conducting meetings, so they will buy about 20 or 30 hosts. The global pricing model is host based, and and we also have the similar pricing model because we cater to the global market as well. But at the same time, we understand the cultural psychological pattern of the Indian market, and Indian market is always about sharing. So we love to share our licenses, right? So one of the unique things that we have brought into the picture is basically a virtual licensing, virtual MCU licensing model, where we don't actually have a host-based plan there. We just ask the enterprise or the CIO of a company that how many people do you think, including the inside and the outside people, all put together would be concurrently in a video call at a given moment of time. So, for example, the CIO tells us, I will have about 500 people, not more than 500 people be doing meeting at the same time, but they will be doing in meeting in different rooms. So, one room there will be 10 people, another could be 50, another could be 30, but not more than 15 or 20 or 30 meetings would be happening at the same time, right? It's like a physical scenario, right? You have a large enterprise office and you have about 20 or 25 meeting rooms, 10 conference rooms, 2 or 3 training rooms, and everybody books those meetings, right? They book a meeting room if they want to have a meeting with their team or with their outside person, right? So the same concept of licensing we have virtualized. So we give a CIO a flexibility to create their own virtual rooms, to allocate users to their own to these rooms. So that gives them two things. One is that the cost is almost reduced by 60-70%. They don't need to buy individual hosts. Second is that in a traditional scenario, because the host licensing is expensive, people tend to buy hosts only for 30 or 40% of their employees, and remaining 60% are not video conference ready. Whereas in this model, 100% of their employees become video conference ready. All of them can schedule meetings, they can book it at different times, look at the scheduler, and the 100% of the organization is video conference ready, and the pricing is almost 60 to 70% drop. So this is bringing in a unique aspect of pricing, and nobody can compare this pricing model because nobody has this kind of a pricing model on the cloud, because everybody is driving a pricing model based on host. And we obviously have to give a host-based model because we are catering to the international market and they understand that language, right? But I mean, in a Indian context or towards in the Asia Pacific context, we see this licensing model to be one of the very unique ways of offering pricing. And we already have seen a huge traction coming for this kind of a pricing in our Europe market as well. So we are not expecting, we thought that they are traditionally used to host-based licensing, but I mean, the moment they understand the concept of this licensing, everybody is kind of getting extremely excited with this.
All right. So I think a couple of questions I have more. One is that being Indian company, being Make in India brand, if you can put certain amount of light on your manufacturing R&D activity very quickly, maybe 1 or 2 minutes you can take and you can tell me about that.
So as I said, we have been in the space from a long time. We understand that we understand three things. One is that vertical specific video applications is very critical. So we have a whole development team based out of Hyderabad, and we're building vertical specific applications from almost 5-6 years now. We have very matured products working robustly from many years with the customers. That's one part. Second is we also understand that the market also needs end-to-end solution. It is not only the software piece. So we have a whole range of hardware complementing the software, and few of almost 70% of it now we are manufacturing in Hyderabad. We also understand when you are doing a conference in a high-end classroom or in a conference room environment, you need to have a very simplistic touch-based control system, or you could actually from a mobile from anywhere in the world control your whole office conference room, including your display, video conferencing unit, lighting, audio, drapes, whatever, projector, whatever you're using in the conference room. You can, using our control room system, which we have indigenously designed in India and also manufacturing in India, you can actually quick start a video conferencing meeting from anywhere for that particular conference room. So makes it very easy for using a boardroom-based conferencing solution. And for a classroom, we have designed and developed indigenously the whole digital podium with audio DSPs and high-end switching solutions, audio solutions, and the whole solution is designed and developed by us in Hyderabad. And we're also manufacturing the same in Hyderabad. We still have a dependency of few of the products which we are right now contract manufacturing out of India, but we have a plan of getting the whole manufacturing done from India in the next 12 to 18 months of time, so that we are 100% indigenous, Make in India company.
Okay, what is your challenge in the market?
So if you look at the challenge part of it, there is the confusion has always been in the market right now, and since so many people are jumping in the video conferencing game. Though they are only jumping in the video conferencing and they are more consumer centric, they are more in the free game and trying to address to the consumer space, where we have not kind of shown much of our focus on. We are a pure enterprise government focused company. We are basically focusing on that vertical at a global level. So, but that always creates a confusion, and we always have to create one more comparison. How are we better than one more player? So we have been doing this comparison from a long time. When we started in 2008, so we had to give two different kinds of comparisons. One is how are we different than Skype from a software-based VC, and then how are we different than Polycom and Cisco from a hardware perspective. So now that comparison has broadened because so many people are jumping in this game. But what eventually everybody understands is video is all about experience. How wonderful and how beautifully you are able to manage a high video quality at a low bandwidth, and the video meetings go extremely smooth without any hassles, and everybody is able to focus on meeting rather than focusing on are you able to see me, are you able to hear me, are you able to is my video clear, or is my audio dropping. So instead of focusing on that parameter, everybody should focus on the meeting, and that's what our core competency has been. So eventually, many people will come in this and they will die off in next 3 or 4 months of time, because they will realize that people will try them and then they will drop them, because video conferencing is all about experience, and then you need to have a set of advanced collaboration tools to make it really really effective to do real good quality meetings.
All right, Amit, last question coming on your way. A Make in India brand like PeopleLink, can it be #1 brand in India? Can it be #1 or 2 brand globally?
So to be honest with you, Sanjay, it's a known fact. I'm not trying to boast it. You can pick up calls all across. We have always been a #1 brand, Make in India brand in India. So that is an open fact. Even our competitors, big competitors, and which are Polycom and Cisco, they have always acknowledged us as a very very serious Make in India brand, and not only in Indian territory and Indian context. We definitely have a global vision, and that has been always there. From last 4-5 years, we have been going outside India and selling our products, and now that's going to be much more aggressive. And with the government support, we are very very sure that we will be able to take up India's name in a global arena in a big way. So we definitely want to be the #1, and we have already some very very innovative products for which we have filed patents, which will be launching in around 15th August time frame. I'll just give you a brief note on that. We are launching two product platforms which we have been developing from last 3 years now. It's basically Advanced Digital Business Ecosystem, ADB.ai, and ADGE, Advanced Digital Governance Ecosystem. So these are two platforms which we have been developing from a long time, and collaboration obviously is a part of it. Collaboration is a major part of it, but there are our vision is basically to build a digital workplace of the future, where people don't have to come out of that application at all, or come out of that platform at all to do anything else. So one platform, mobile driven, where you can do everything, and you don't need to come out of that application. You may not even need to use a mail. So it will be like, it's a very very powerful combination. We are trying to bring all the ecosystem stakeholders, which means partners, distributors, employees, customers, prospects, everybody on a common ecosystem, so that there is no need of coming out of that ecosystem. So you don't have to do anything else. You are on that ecosystem. You can interact with them in all ways and means and forms, and there will be proper AI-driven analytics which will help you to make decisions and drive your business very effectively from anywhere, anytime.
All right, Amit, thank you very much for talking to CIO TV Live, and all the best for your future endeavors. And may God make your wishes a successful one, and you become globally #1 company. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.